Hey everyone, I am back with another reading for you. If you're new here, my name is Amanda. Welcome to Dead Garden Tarot. So I started doing a reading, and the Emperor has been coming out a lot lately. So there are two masculines in the energy, and I wanted to find out a little bit more about them. So I pulled from the Wild Unknown archetype, and I wasn't sure if I should post this reading and share this reading, but I thought it was important because not only do I feel like I'm being called out in this reading, but I think it's important to share because there is an accountability lesson in this. And I'll share what I have so far, and then we'll get into the tarot and ask some more questions. So the Wild Unknown archetype, I asked who this Emperor was, and I got Venom. Now, this doesn't look like a snake, it looks like a beast, right? A little beastie. So when I looked up what this card meant, it's obviously about the poison in relationships. But the thing that really stood out to me is about choosing your words carefully, as in, did you say something, or did your words hurt this Emperor? And I feel like there's an accountability to be taken in that. And we'll get into why in a minute. Then I wanted to know who this other romantic love was, because there's a choice of two. I almost feel like there might be a third in the background, but I really feel like it comes down to two. But we can ask. The Father came out, which was interesting. So I feel like this is like a soulmate twin flame. I wanted to do a love reading, that's what I'm doing. And then at the bottom of the deck is the Shaman, and I believe that this is you. So with the Venom, I feel like around this full moon or before the full moon, right, with the moon in there, I feel like you said something to this Emperor that cut him deep. Now, I pulled from the Z108 because I wanted to know, is this Emperor bad for you? And I got a resounding no. And then when I pulled these cards, I got friends. Okay, so friendship, soul tribe, a contact, a network, an interpersonal relationship. And then I also got changing. So at this time, the situation is still in a state of flux and anything could happen. This is also a 3, so 3s might be significant creativity, might be a life path 3, but I was getting with this soulmate that this Emperor is a really deep feeler. He feels things very deep, so he might have Scorpio in his chart. Next, I wanted to ask more about this Emperor. And the next thing I pulled out was the Phoenix. Again, Scorpio. We all know the Phoenix is transformation, resurrection, rebirth, destroying and rising from the ashes. and master. So that's double nines. A disciplined, working smart, focused, structured, teaching and training, conquering and overcoming, and control. So the beast mentality that I was picking up from this, there's a lot of control in that. So I feel like he's very controlled and very much a beast mode type of person in the 3D, because he's the emperor, right? But I feel like he also likes that in the bedroom, right? Which was like in another reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest. If it's for you, great. If not, then that's okay. I feel like this emperor really cares about you and does love you and is part of your soul tribe and is supposed to come into your life for a very specific reason, and is a very important part of not only your transformation and your growth, but for his as well. So I feel like you're both probably hurting, and you both have said some words that maybe have hurt each other in some way. Now, the venom that I was getting, and why I think it was important that Spirit wanted me to post this and share this, was about accountability. Now, I don't think this has happened in the physical. This is like a 5D thing. This is a connecting thing, energy-wise. When you have been alone for a really long time, I'm speaking about myself now in this. When you've been alone for a very long time, and you've been through a lot, and you've had to do everything on your own, and you don't trust people, even when they're green flags, and even when someone speaks to you kindly, and really kind of shows most of their hand, you will still have your backup. You will still question everything that they're saying. And it can be to your detriment. Which is why when something good comes into your life that you've been praying for, that you've been asking for, you have to be careful how you handle that and how you go about that. Because you could be the one that ruins it, right? A masculine could come in, an emperor could come in, a soulmate could come in, a twin flame could come in, and you could be the one that screws it up. It's not always the masculine. There's a lot of pressure being put on masculines because they have very tall orders, but we as feminines also have our things that we have to heal and our things that we have to go through. And especially with men who are deep feelers, I grew up thinking that most men didn't have like feelings, and I grew up with a lot of controlling, prideful, and overbearing women, and so basically taught that men didn't really have feelings, and if you did hurt them, they'd get over it. It wouldn't be a big deal. And so take that into consideration when you are speaking to these masculines. For the father, this twin flame represents the father. So you may in fact in the future start a family with this person. And when I asked about the father and what he represents, this twin flame, diamond came out, right? So a creative force, faithfulness, brilliance, commitment, light and purity, multidimensional, multifaceted. Fairy tale came out, believe in the impossible, romantic ending, hopeful, you know, fantasy stuff. And then bedroom also came out. So this is emotional fulfillment, sensual pleasure, contentment, and astral travel. So I feel like you spend a lot of time with this twin flame masculine in the ethers. And this is also a Scorpio card and also a number 6. So there seems to be a 369 happening. So with you, I was talking about discernment today, right? So discernment's really important, and especially when you have spiritual gifts, and you are able to astral travel, you are able to be telepathically connected with those around you, and others as well. Sometimes it's hard to discern or decipher what is actually going on, because you're only getting part of the story, you're only hearing so much, and you have to really rely on your feelings and not just your thoughts and what your heart is. So really connecting with your soul. So for you, I got the curtain call. So you are going to be recognized and acclaimed for what you do. You are center stage, so you might have Leo placements. Again, this is a number 6. And so you were shining, and you were kind of like reaching out and trying to figure out and go through all of the little pieces, not just dealing with these masculines, but, you know, dealing with yourself, dealing with your gifts, dealing with everything that's going on in your life as well. And you are shining between these two masculines. So I wanted to get into the tarot now, and I want to ask more about these two masculines and what it is that they are going to help you with, and what their intentions are. So what can you tell me about the Venom? What can you tell me about this beastie Emperor? What can you tell me about this beastie Emperor, please? The Empress. Okay, so he sees you as the Empress, or he wants to make you rise to that, right? And transform into that, because he sees your capabilities. What are his intentions overall? The Hierophant. There's a deep spiritual connection between the two of you, as soulmates have. And I feel like there is a deep value between the two of you. And I feel like regardless if this isn't like I feel it's somewhat romantic, and you could choose to be with this person. Again, it just depends on what masculine better suits you, and what life better suits you, and what you want for your future. But this has like massive potential. And I feel like you will share the same values and will see the same things that are important to the both of you. I also feel like this Emperor would rather have you in his life and be connected to you and have you as a very close friend than not have you in his life at all. I think he cares that much about you, and he wants to start off as friends, right? first and foremost and build that trust. So I feel like you may know this person, but I feel like this person is from your past. Now, past could be last month, right? Past is past. But I feel like you have some sort of connection with this person from the past. You know, take it as it resonates. So you may have met them in passing, but I really feel like there's a deeper connect here than what you may be realizing. What can you tell me about this twin flame, this father? The Nine of Wands. I feel like this masculine is really hard at work and thinks of you all the time. He's getting everything ready and like, you know, all his ducks in a row, so to speak. Yeah, I feel like he heavily thinks about you. Again, I feel like you really connect at night. You know, when everything's quiet. What else can you tell me about this father? What are his intentions? Because it's coming up very much fantasy, very pleasurable. You know, but does that really resonate and connect? Wow, okay. So I'm gonna take that dumping of the cards as like there's a huge outpouring of emotion when it comes to the two of you and the way you connect. So the one that fell on the floor was the World. That's interesting. I don't know why these are. Okay, what was I saying? Intention. So what is this? So you probably see him that he would be a good father, that there is like a fantasy idea, the outpouring of emotion between the two of you. What are his intentions? Because this is very heady, right? And very like root-based, but very healthy root-based. But that doesn't necessarily mean it would transfer and ground in the 3D. What is this father's intentions? What is this masculine's intentions? This twin flame. What are his intentions? The Knight of Swords. To come towards you, and I feel like to share something with you, and this even could be to fight for you. And he's waiting in the water and he's walking through the water. So I feel like he's really moving through a lot of emotions right now. I heard he's being careful. Like he's being careful in choosing his words with you, but also because I feel like the communication has gotten a little bit more honest, but I also feel like he's choosing his words carefully, like in his own life. Yeah, justice. So he's still trudging through stuff and still going through some sort of issue in his life, cleaning up whatever he needs to clean up, karmically or financially or whatever it may be, right? It could be spiritual justice for what he's done in the past. I don't know. So I want to find out about you and where you stand with this recognition. The Five of Cups. So you are, I feel like you're somewhat holding on to the faith. I feel like this is almost like a wheat thing. Yeah, like holding on to what you can, but I'm getting like a solemn, sad feeling because you have probably been through a lot, and because you're the shaman, it probably feels like you've been kind of floating around in the dark, grasping at whatever you can. And that's probably why your words have been sharp. I heard, but you find solace. Not just in yourself, but you're finding solace in these masculines. I don't think that you're leaning on them, but I feel like your emotions and your heart call out to them. Your soul calls out to them. What else can you tell me about the relationship between the beast and the shaman? The Six of Cups. That's so sweet. Look at that. I heard childhood friend. You may know this person from your childhood. You may know this person from when you were younger. I feel like this person wants to share with you. Or even your inner children have like a sweet fondness for each other. That's really sweet. Yeah, I feel like this beastie emperor, I feel like he's a lot more sweet and a lot more gentle than you give him credit for. That's interesting. And what about the relationship between this father and this shaman? The Nine of Cups. I heard he's protecting his emotions, like he's protecting his cups. He might even be like meditating or concentrating on sorry, I just ate, so yeah, concentrating on how he feels, concentrating on keeping like his heart and his solar and his sacral and his root like all in line. So keeping himself in alignment, keeping himself tempered. That's interesting. I want to get one more about you. What else can you tell me about the shaman? How does the okay, I didn't ask. How does the shaman see the beastie emperor right now? How does she see them? The Two of Pentacles. What? I just heard virile. Okay. Okay. So I think you see him as a pretty well-rounded, balanced type of person. And no doubt you see him as somebody that shines. What can you tell me, because he's the emperor, what can you tell me about how the shaman sees the father? How does the shaman see the father right now? Interesting. The Four of Pentacles. I feel like you see him as struggling through his finances, and he's holding on to what he has. So I don't think that he's engaging in going out with people, spending his money. I think he's really holding on to it. And I also got the Devil. So I think that he's controlling himself. I feel like he's restricting himself. I don't necessarily think this is bad in the sense that you think he's bad. I just think that, again, you're in the middle and you're unsure, because I feel like with this twin flame, there's a lot of unsaid things and a lot of like mishap that happened in the past. Because it's in separation, right? Okay. Where are we? I want to ask 2 more questions, but I want to take it from the Z108. I want to know how close these people are. How close is this emperor to this shaman? Like how close, like how far away is he? How close is he coming in? Like when's he coming in? Because you are separated from both these masculines. You're not dealing with either one of them right now. Again, the choice is yours, right? But it seems like the beast one is going to come in first. The emperor is going to come in first before this other one is. Because I feel like the twin flame is still dealing with things. He's still healing, and he's still gathering. What can you tell me about the emperor? And his forward movement. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah, fine print. He's looking at the details. He's taking a closer look. He's being careful and he's paying attention, which is what emperors do, right? Okay, give me one more for that. Yeah, I heard he's really taking his time. Okay, so he does have to travel towards you, So he could take a plane depending on how far away he is. He might be out of town. I feel like he's out of town. And he's working things out. And he's rising up and he's working on his freedom so that he can come and see you. Now, if he is, in fact, an emperor, which is what he is, you know, he probably works a lot. So he might have to, you know, find a time where he's not as not as busy, and to plan something for the two of you. So optical illusion. Yeah, he's probably unclear about a few things, and he may feel like with your harsh words, I feel like in the past with women that he's dealt with, he may feel like you are not manipulating him, but I feel like he feels like maybe you're playing a little bit of a head game with him. That's interesting. And then gavel. Yeah, he could very well be in a serious situation. He could be very well in legal matters or in court matters. And both of these, there's double sevens here and there's a lot of sixes on the board. And these are both Aquarius. So Aquariuses keep their emotions really tight to their chest, but they are also massively deep feelers. And again, there was a lot of, I feel like this Emperor is going through a lot more than he's letting on, but he doesn't want to get you involved and he's keeping you protected from that. And he wants to make sure that everything's clean and clear before he makes his step forward. And I also feel like that's kind of what this father figure is doing as well. So what can you tell me about this, this twin flame? And then we'll wrap it up. This twin flame and him coming towards you. How far is he away from you? What is he thinking about? Yeah, see, train. So again, with the travel, right? He has to come towards you. So it might take a little while. So trains are typically a little bit closer than planes are, but not always. And again, with the 6, that's a Gemini. We have double Geminis here, rings. Yeah, contracts, bonds, strong agreements, union, counterpart, lovers, telepathy. Yeah, that really goes tight with the ones underneath, with the diamond and the fairy tale. Yeah, he's got a lot of baggage. I said that he was healing. He's got some unresolved issues and he doesn't want to bring that into your world. Again, with the 7s. 7s are a divine number. He wants to clear and clean that up. And then, dear John, so he wants to communicate with you. Maybe he'll write you a letter. Maybe he writes poems about you to keep himself occupied. Again, this is a strained situation, cutting cords, something's not working, and this also has divorce in it. So I feel like both these masculines are going through some sort of legal matter in whatever way. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to ask one more question. So it seems like they're going through a hell of a lot and you are yourself going through some emotional stuff and feeling sad, and you very well may be picking up on both of these masculines, right? Because if you are the shaman and you are spiritually inclined, then you're going to also be not necessarily absorbing, but you're going to be very energetically sensitive to both of them. So what right now is the shaman going through? What is the feminine going through? Yeah, so, okay, the bottom of the deck is Person of Water. So you are very sensitive. You might have a lot of water in your chart. You're intuitive, you're psychically connected, you're an empath, you're very heart-centered, so you're definitely feeling all of this going on. So the cards that came out are yeah, there's hidden emotions. You're going through your social resources. Again, that resources keeps popping up. I feel like you're looking deeper into your community and your true feelings about both of these masculines and how they make you feel. Really sitting with yourself. Yeah, sitting with yourself. You probably do yoga or some sort of like low impact workout, even meditation. You're relaxing, you're trying to keep yourself balanced and steady. You're trying to heal your inner child and your inner knowing. And then book burning as well. So on this, control is coming out and silencing is coming out. I feel like you are really, and censorship is coming out. And then suffocate also. Constraint. I feel like you are not talking about this. I feel like this is something that you're keeping to yourself, and there's probably very little people that know about what's happening, if anybody at all, about what you're going through, about what you're experiencing, and about your feelings for these masculines. So I really feel like, and again, you might have Libra in your chart. That's double Libra. And there's also double Cancer here as well. So you might have Cancer placements as well. I just want to let you know that you're not alone, and it might feel like that because it feels like you're carrying a lot and you're keeping it to yourself, but just know that, you know, being alone is an illusion. And these masculines really love you and really care about you, and they are, what it seems like, not only healing themselves, but they're doing it because they see how worthy you are of having someone that is healed, someone that fights for you, someone that will love you and take care of you and protect you. And that takes a lot of time. It doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't just happen even in a year. It takes a lot of time for that to happen. Yeah, so don't lose hope. Really focus on yourself and take care of yourself. And if you're alone, journaling, writing, reading, cleansing your energy is really important, and making sure that you get a lot of rest. Yeah, so that is your love reading, and I hope that you have a good evening, and I hope that you have sweet dreams, and peace. God bless.